absolutely is. Let's kick it off in the top right corner of the map from the big clan. It is our red Protoss player, ShoWTimE.
And his opponent, spawning down in the bottom left, it is Berserker's ShaDoWn. And look at that, he's got a nice feng shui going on right there. He's just in the kitchen, can turn around, grab himself a snack. He's chilling. He's vibing. I'm feeling my prediction.
Do you think he's like out here cooking, making some food while he's beating Clem 2-0 last week? That would have been even more fire. Just be like, yeah, you know what? I can beat Clem. I also beat Clem while I'm making a fierce meal for myself afterwards. It's a good time to be ShaDoWn.
That's the big flex right there. You just show up, you're just chowing down on some ramen, you just toss it on the stove. Ramen Clem challenge.
I like it, man. I like it. All right, 2 gates each, obviously. PvP, very standard to obviously go 2 gate. This is not weird at all. And especially just on this map, right? This is the absolute norm. So really just getting a little taste of normality to begin with. And from here, there's a lot of options. You can play off of a, faster expansion. You can try and tech off 2 gates. You can all in off of this. You really do have freedom to kind of do as you wish for the most part. So we'll see what the choice is going to end up being here on the side of ShoWTimE and ShaDoWn. I would imagine ShaDoWn's the one who might want to mix it up and try and be a bit more aggressive, but there's something about trying to, being too predictable to me, to say as well, because it feels like Clem played as though he was the favorite against ShaDoWn, and ShaDoWn punished that. So if ShoWTimE does the same, maybe that would be punishable as well.
Yeah, and ShaDoWn already coming in with a couple of subtle things that are very, very cool here. Oh, I love this. Okay, this is a 2-part mind game right here. So it's a 3-part move. First of all, he doesn't scout early. So he's saving a little bit of money right there. He hides the pylon in the natural to hide the second pylon, and then layers that in with a very, very cool move where he doesn't start his second gateway unit right away to make this really look like a proxy Stargate or proxy robot or some kind of very aggressive move. I love ShaDoWn's mind games to start this off.
Yeah, absolutely. Just playing the quirkiness, right? And it's like I say, this is very standard, the kind of generic openings that we've got, but there's so much you can do with it, and that's where you can create those mind games from. Because there's so many different ways to play off of this setup, you can give hints of one thing and then maybe get ShoWTimE to think another. Yeah, I'm with you. It's a cool move. It doesn't cost him lots to do. It might not give him like a huge lead, but it's one of those things that can keep ShoWTimE off guard. And it's not just about this game. What about further in the series? If he does something like this and then he actually is aggressive, then ShoWTimE might not be as wary of it, right? So it's just going to keep ShoWTimE thinking, and it's really cool as the underdog to be able to kind of do something like that. Be like, hey, look, you're playing my series. I'm not just playing your game. You're playing my game too.
Yeah, and that's something that hallucination just barely gets past. Almost intercepted by ShaDoWn. That would have been a really nice denial right there if he could have prevented the scout. Speaking of which, we have ShoWTimE preventing the scout from ShaDoWn. I think we're going to take a look, see. Yeah, no, he did not get eyes on the Twilight Council. But yeah, that's a really, really great point, and a very important one is that for the future of this series, we could have something like that. We do have a little bit of a pseudo hidden dark shrine. Unfortunately, though, we already have vision of the that pylon, so he knows exactly where it is. It still could go unscouted. Like it's in a kind of uncomfortable corner. Really good hallucination scout right there, seeing these 2 adepts.
Yeah, the adepts of ShoWTimE actually come down here to fight, but ShaDoWn, actually had initial shots, but then he actually chases a little bit too much. It is just going to be 1-for-1, but then he still is worse on HP. So ShoWTimE looks as though he's going to win this little adept war that's going on as well, and looking good for that.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. It'll still be 1-for-1. And there we go. There's that scout on the Dark Shrine. Hang on, is there a pylon on the map? Yes, there is. And there's no robotics facility for ShoWTimE. He is not building one just yet. Uh-oh. He didn't realize it's DTs. Oh, no.
He doesn't know at all. He's a little bit kind of unaware of this. He just assumed that was a pylon, or so just saw it but didn't see it, And right now, what are you going to do? I mean, he's got a robo start. You can buy time, but the Stalkers aren't in position to buy time. If they're in position to buy time, they would have been further back. they would have been in a position to block the ramp, force field, and stuff. He's taken a third base. This just creates even more locations to hit. Oh god, this is really, really bad.
If the, oh my god, if the DT goes up into the main base, well, actually, if it just goes for probes even, this is so good for ShaDoWn. ShoWTimE, he did exactly what you're describing. He saw it, but he didn't see it. 3 probes, a lot of lost mining time, and this is only 1 DT on the commitment. This is a really, really good situation here for ShaDoWn.
It's just a shame, because if he'd just gone for more than 1 DT, he would have done so much, because he would have put 1 in the main base, 1 in the natural, and ShoWTimE obviously just has no way to buy time. Now, okay, you pull the probes away, and yes, you lose a lot of mining time, of course, but it's still just... Imagine what he could have been doing if the main base was with, had a DT in it now as well. So, just a little sad that it could have been so much better, but obviously still great that he's getting a good start. Now he's even going to bring his Stalkers forward a little bit to try and do something with that, and aiming for that pylon.
Yeah, he's just, he's just going to pressure, see if maybe ShoWTimE falls apart, so to speak. But as it is, this is already so much damage. Now, this double Adept could be a very, very big equalizer if ShaDoWn doesn't respond correctly. He is going to recall back home. We'll lose at least probably 4 or 5 probes, but he's going to recall 4 probes. That's not bad, actually. He's still up 8 workers.
Yeah, it feels like that could have been that could have been worse for sure. Okay, so ShaDoWn's just up a good amount of workers. His army's going to be evening out. I love that he's getting Shadow Strike, so he's going to have DT Blink to utilize. You don't see that all of the time, right? I mean, obviously sometimes, yes, later in the game, but this early in the game, that is a bit more of a rarity. And that's kind of fun, like I say. I think that's something to take note of here. I'm excited to see what that maybe develops into, and if you can really get like a lot of further harassment done down the line. Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, and I don't think ShoWTimE would have been looking for that kind of that spinning dark shrine. That's not the kind of thing you have your eye on. So I don't think he would have necessarily noticed that. He might look back at it through the fog of war and be like, "Huh, there's blue smoke coming out of your dark shrine. That's a little too dank for me. Way too dank."
Yeah, I was like, what you doing in there? Yeah, it's a little cheeky.
What are you doing?
ShoWTimE just gonna get the RoboBay, man. Just gonna say, right, I'm kind of happy to let this play into a longer game, as he kind of should, right? He's the confident player. He's the favorite here. He probably just believes that, yeah, if this game kind of keeps on going like this and it just lengthens out, that it's only just gonna be good for him. It's just gonna get better and better. So, yeah, I don't mind how he's playing this at all. I think he's playing very smart given the situation. But I'm really excited to see what ShaDoWn does, because ShaDoWn's set up to get a lot done as well, and that's exciting.
He already starts up that +2. His 4th Nexus is on the way. Since it's only single robo for the moment for ShoWTimE, it's not like he can pump out, just suddenly 6 disruptors. Oh, I like this 1-2 punch. This is what he's setting up for. He has the upgrade lead. He has a fair bit more army supply. Of course, a lot of it's in those Blink DTs. But if he can draw all of ShoWTimE's attention and army to the 3rd base and then just blinks on the mineral line, even 5 seconds unattended natural, that's a whole dead mineral line. Oh, yep. But the probe, that's an MVP probe.
Yeah, it just dies, but it reveals the DT, so at least you know that coming, and obviously that preparation will go a long way. Observers here, Stalkers are here. DT's actually going to get chased down even. We don't quite lose one of them, but yeah, obviously just not quite achieving what it was initially intended to. Nice for ShoWTimE, and just keeps himself alive, because I mean, he's really not in a position to be taking any damage. If you look at the supplies right now, it is kind of all about ShaDoWn, upgrades in his favor and everything. So that early game definitely paying off for him. Put him ahead, and we'll see if he can end up closing it out.
Yeah, the only thing is ShaDoWn doesn't know about the disruptors just yet. He could potentially set up, by the way, for like 5 or 6 Blink DTs to just jump on the disruptors from the side. If he can jump on, 3-4 disruptors suddenly, and they're a little bit back on the army, that is a big setup that could just suddenly win ShaDoWn the game. Instead, though, he's going to blink into the main base with this. Oh, that's a really cool move. He will find a disruptor on the left side. He's going in, or going to try and go in, as his opponent's attention is distracted. It looks like this did get spotted, though.
Yep, SCT is going to get to work. It's just going to be seeing Stalkers at the front for ShaDoWn. He got rid of the Disruptor, by the way, so there's no splash damage here at the moment as we keep on pushing through. There's one Disruptor in the natural, but ShoWTimE hasn't seen it. ShaDoWn is blinking in on top of ShoWTimE, and ShoWTime's in some trouble. He's losing a lot. This Disruptor is walking forward now. It should go down, and ShoWTimE is just trailing off units here, there, and everywhere, and ShaDoWn just going to pull back up to the top, try and get this base and take a 1-base lead in this game. ShoWTimE now blinks into fight. Super Battery will look to save the base, and it will try and save some of these Stalkers as well.
Yeah, he needs to actually stop targeting the Nexus right now. He needs it for the fight. It is a +2 weapons advantage right here for ShaDoWn. He is really, really in control of this game at this point. If he takes down that 4th base, he is going to run away with the economy, and that is going to make any chance of a comeback for ShoWTimE very, very difficult. We'll see an aggressive blink forward, and he will kind of push his opponent back just with the sheer weight of Stalkers. Here come the Disruptors from the side. His blink. Oh, no!
He had it. He had blink as well. It was off cooldown. He just didn't use it, and you could see him split it ways though he is gonna use it. I swear down, I saw it available when the Stalkers died. That is unfortunate. Maybe he tried to blink like a moment too soon, and blink was still on cooldown. Oh no. Well, that's gonna be the hold now from ShoWTimE. Don't get me wrong, ShaDoWn's still in a great position, but that could have been game ending. Now ShoWTimE gets to live, and of course, someone who's going to ShoWTimE, that's always got to get you a little bit afraid.
Yeah, I would even go so far as to say that should have been game ending. That was an extremely bad situation. Now we do see a snipe on the Observer. The probe's immediately getting pulled. He should just click down the Nexus with those DTs, I think. That should be his prioritization. Ooh, but he is going to go for the Disruptors here. Oh, ShoWTimE accidentally killing his own probe right there. Battery overcharge will get popped. Once again, there is a cannon about to complete here. ShoWTimE is still in a lot of trouble. And there we go. ShaDoWn is just going to click down the Nexus, will take it down, and it is now 5 base to 3. ShaDoWn is still cruising in this game despite that big Disruptor shot.
Sweater power, man. You called it. Apparently, it's really powerful. We all underestimated it. He comes up this top side. He's going to keep on pressuring. He doesn't necessarily need to right now, but I don't hate that he does, because obviously he'd love to keep the Disruptor count low if at all possible. And players like this do exactly that. The less Disruptors there are, the easier time you're going to have here on out. Love that he finds that opportunity and is able to get some kills on Disruptors right there.
Absolutely, and it's all the vision game. He has that Observer. He picked off ShoWTimE's Observer earlier. ShoWTimE doesn't feel like he can stop Disruptor production in order to build more Observers. He's got this one on the right side. Probably should have brought it over here to clear out that Observer. But still, this is just a phenomenal position here for ShaDoWn. He still needs to be careful, and at this point, I think he should take down these rocks. He's been attacking to a concave for a long time. So I really think if he takes down those rocks, he can maybe just close out the game with that. For now, though, +2 weapons will complete, and that will even up the upgrades for about 20 seconds.
Yeah, upgrades evening out as we do go back and forth here and just see those rocks going down. I mean, the Disruptor count is getting high. You've got to be afraid of that. You know how powerful they can be. They will be a threat, so you just got to be very careful. And the best thing you can do sometimes in this scenario is just to cool off a little bit and just let it go and maybe tech up yourself. I'm worried that ShaDoWn is still just on mass gateway units, and I don't disagree. Kill these rocks, please, because it's only going to help. You've got Zealots you're trying to get through. You need those rocks to be gone.
Yeah, and this is a really scary moment here for ShoWTimE. Ooh, decent Disruptor shot, not amazing. Another one does come in, just gets a single Zealot. This is still an extremely scary moment. It's +3 to +2. ShaDoWn feels victory, and he is on the verge of it. But can he make it happen? Nice snipe on his opponent's Observer right there. This is a huge concave for ShaDoWn. ShoWTimE very patient, though. Okay, battery overcharge. Yeah, you got to disengage. Ooh, pretty big Disruptor shot. Another couple will come on in. ShaDoWn, I agree with you. I think he needs to tech up.
Yeah, I mean, he is chipping away at this, though. I mean, I'm just worried that the Disruptor count's getting a little bit higher and higher. 7 more Zealots coming through. The Disruptors force him back. As the Disruptor count gets higher, you can force ShaDoWn back more frequently, and then this army gets less and less done. We're just going to commit through. Some Disruptors do not go off. I thought that one was for sure going to land, but he gets the kill. And now that should be the breaking point. ShoWTimE shouldn't be able to hold against this. GG. And ShaDoWn is going to take a 1-0 lead against ShoWTimE. Wow, this guy is on a freaking hot streak at the moment.
Oh my god, the sweater power is real. He comes out swinging in this match. Some cool mind games to start things off. Little bit of DT harass and just keeps the pressure on. And you know what is the most amazing thing to me about that? That Disruptor shot could have ended anyone's day. Doesn't matter that he was still in the lead. That is the kind of thing that can mentally break players. But he comes in absolutely unperturbed. I looked at his camera a little bit late. I don't even know if there was a reaction. He might have just literally been like, yeah, another day at the office, 10 stalkers, who cares?
That was honestly, The snipes at the end were just so clutch and able to win it out, and that is going to be game one. ShaDoWn into Glitter and Ashes for map 2, and ShoWTimE is playing from behind. And honestly, every time I show up to DreamHack the last few days, it's just upset city, just day after day. It's ridiculous how many upsets there's been this season, and honestly, well, we're not there yet, right? But we are well on the way now. And ShaDoWn, if he keeps playing like this, and if he could like clear out some of the other players down the line, can you imagine if ShaDoWn won the group? That would be absolutely bonkers. I know that's getting very ahead, but like.
Well, I mean, if he wins this, you're not ahead of it at all. He's already beaten the two favorites at that point. And if he wins, especially if he wins this map, if he wins 2-0, because ShoWTimE and Clem still have to play one another. At that point, I feel like he's almost locked up a top 2. It would take almost a collapse at that point.
He did lose maps where others haven't so far, right? So that's maybe worth keeping in mind. Like, he lost a map to Art, you guys mentioned, right? So yeah, that could come into play if, yeah, I mean, obviously if he then loses something. But yeah, no, I mean, maybe it would. It depends, obviously, because I feel like, well, he's obviously doing great. Is he a favorite all the way? Maybe. Bottom left, Red Protoss player, it is ShoWTimE.
And his opponent. He is rocking it. It is ShaDoWn for Berserker Esports. God, what? I am really happy to be casting this one. This is an exciting start to the day. What a great way to get the blood pumping, eh?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a good way to get warmed up for all the awesome StarCraft we got today. I mean, I looked at today's matches, and you know, the last time I was here, I had to pick some matches. Like, oh well, it's kind of obvious which ones we're gonna pick, and yeah, okay. Then Reno lost to Soul Spirit, but today I was going through, I was like, oh well, either of these are good, neither of these are good, and there's just so many good matches across both streams today. Yeah, amazing that we get a potential bit of an upset going in this first one already.
Yeah, and once again, we do see not a no scout play out of ShaDoWn, but we see a late scout. So he is kind of going into this this mindset of like you said earlier, I'm not the favorite, and I know that my opponent feels like he's the favorite. I'm already loving the approach to this. And this time he does build a proxy pylon. Is it going to be real? I think so.
Yeah, he's just going to play a little bit of mind games throughout, and yeah, if ShoWTimE is unable to check if it's real or not, right, then he's got to kind of play as though it is. And even if I mean, obviously it is actually going to be real, we'll see if he probably commits, because like you say, last time nothing happens, then maybe he doesn't. And yeah, I love the mind games so far, and it's just going to be a robo proxy as well, a real close robo proxy. So yeah, really like that.
Yeah, and it's exactly what we saw earlier, which is it's the same opener as game number 1, where he delayed that pardon me, he delayed that second gateway unit. This is really cool. He has done the same thing that pitchers do in Major League Baseball to become uber elite, where they have, you know, let's say 3-4 pitches. If they can make the delivery look the same, getting that extra couple of seconds where your opponent's looking at it and they can't quite decipher what's going on is a massive, massive mental edge, especially in a game like StarCraft 2, where every second counts.
Yep, that Robo's going to finish up. Adept's just going to keep on moving. Immortal begins the Chrono Boost. Oh, I love it. It's an Immortal as well, right? So this is just going to be real aggressive really quickly. The Adepts will shade past. ShaDoWn is going to be really just powering up very, very soon here. Excited, man. The Adept shade into another Stalker. That's an Oracle proxy from ShoWTimE, so that's going to make this a little bit wild. ShaDoWn is building a battery, and that isn't his mineral line. That's very important, because that's going to mean it at least delays how long until the Oracle really starts doing maybe game-ending damage on this side of the map.
Yeah, something we'll have to watch for is if ShoWTimE decides to go for stasis wards in response to this upon seeing it. The push, though, it is coming now. It is not hesitating. There is a shield battery on the way here for ShoWTimE, but it's not done yet, and there's only 2 Stalkers here. If ShaDoWn goes right this second, he breaks through.
Yeah, stasis ward, by the way, in the main base. He responds. Good response. Only 2 probes getting caught. That's fine. ShoWTimE is obviously ready in the defense. Go, but then it's so scary. What if there's a sentry, right? If there's a sentry right there and he doesn't know it, he gets cut in half. He doesn't want to. He wants the prison before he goes. Honestly, you could still go now, maybe, or just chip away at the gateways. I mean, that basically takes away the production here. That's going to be a big deal. Honestly, Micro just has to be on point from ShaDoWn as he starts to drain those batteries of energy. Most importantly, he's getting rid of this gateway's shields. And again, if gates go down, that's the production gone, and that can go a long way as well in this game.
Oh, but now there is a second Oracle here. He will need to pop battery overcharge eventually once that shield battery
One's out of energy, though.
Yes. So he doesn't get a double shot, which is good, or like one shotted.
Yeah.
But he needs to win with this is now the problem.
Yeah, I mean, that was always going to be the issue with the Oracles, right? And that was always going to be kind of the big benefit of the Oracles and what they would be able to force, basically. So, it's definitely starting to look good. Yeah, I mean, who's a Stalker?
Actually, he's taking a Nexus behind this, which is really funky. I kind of didn't notice that initially, but like, so it means he doesn't necessarily need to win with this. Oh, nice force field right there, but ShoWTimE, good, quick maneuvering around it, doesn't get caught. This is actually kind of funny because even though ShoWTimE's up in workers, he's going to be the one who's going to be pretty pressured. I do believe there's a couple of stalkers in the main mineral line. Yeah, so he's going to be relatively prepared for this. Is the Oracle's dart back in? Yeah, 3 stalkers will deflect this. This is kind of neat. ShaDoWn's going to turn this into a contain.
Yep, just gonna, I mean, may as well, right? Keep his opponent out for as long as possible and then just try and set up back at home with a faster Nexus. But once ShoWTimE has Blink, that will be the breakout here. And obviously, once he has Blink, he can go across the map himself and put on pressure. ShaDoWn must be ready by then. He cannot be unprepared. If he isn't ready to deal with that, that can create big issues. And the problem is, ShaDoWn obviously his robos in the middle of the map, and the fact he didn't build like extra immortals so far, I feel like it's a bit of a shame. I know that saves you money somewhere along the way, but it also feels as though the Oracles are back because the Stalkers came to fight the Adepts. Good play from ShoWTimE, gets 4 more probes. I just also feel as though like an extra immortal or so right now would really help once that Blink is up from ShoWTimE. It just makes it so much tougher to just blink in, kill the immortal, and just be okay with it because the second immortal will be there chunking through the Stalkers during that.
Yeah, it looks like ShaDoWn, by the way, with the Observer, he did see the timing of his opponent's Twilight Council, so he's going to leave at exactly the right timing. And the beauty of this is he doesn't need to recall right now. Ooh, unfortunately, we'll lose a couple more probes. Nice micro right there from ShoWTimE, grabbing that 3rd probe very cleanly. And we will see, yeah, that is a scout on the robotics facility, so he's going to kill this off. He knew it was somewhere, and like you said, it would have been really nice to have some more immortals. What I would have loved, at the very least, is 1 or 2 additional observers. Oh, something in the main base.
Yeah, it's the prison, but it's caught by a Phoenix, so just recalls everything back home, nothing lost in the end, but he forces a recall out of ShoWTimE, which is pretty neat, right? So that's nice. It's some energy gone, and yeah, but I'm just going to be back home, up a base for a little bit, but so far behind on Blink. I'm surprised his Blink took so long to start, actually.
Yeah, looks like he was prioritizing, I guess, a little bit of probe production to get back into it in terms of workers. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so ShaDoWn is very ahead in economy for a little bit. Even though, you know, his probe count was down, he's able to mine much more efficiently off of a natural expansion. He's going to double expand, ShoWTimE is, to catch up. That is very neat. Bro,
Not sure about that. Maybe just, I mean, some tanking this? I don't know. I was just going to say, though, obviously the double expand makes sense, too, because ShoWTimE has all of the map control right now with that Blink up. So he can get away with double expanding. So it's something he can... It seems risky, but actually, in the grand scheme of things, it's completely fine. It's very doable. And I wouldn't be surprised if this just went unpunished, because what can ShaDoWn do? How would he ever feel safe enough right now to go across the map? Well, once his own Blink is finished, maybe, but by then that 3rd base is basically up and running, and, you know, then you're home free.
Yeah, that is a really good point. The map control is quite huge. He is going to be able to use the War Prism to keep that 1 stalker alive. Nice job. ShaDoWn, does he know about his opponent's 3rd base? It feels like he's kind of gearing up for a bit of an attack himself. Yeah, he has seen the 3rd base. So that's good information for ShaDoWn. Yeah, he's going to move across the map with Blink, and this is actually a really great point, where if there had been a 2nd immortal, this attack timing is so scary. As it is, it's still pretty scary, but I feel like there was so much more kill potential if he has another immortal with this. Oh, Oracles in the natural, going to get another 4 probes right there. Good job from ShoWTimE. So on point with that Oracle control.
These Oracles have just been non-stop. They're so annoying, and in the hands of someone like ShoWTimE, of course, they're meant to be, and he really is making the most of them. Love that. ShaDoWn ready to fight maybe, but obviously he'll be going into battery. His only advantage is that immortal, which I'm not sure how much I love it, you know, and obviously ShoWTimE is spread out, good concave, and just don't think we should be here, ShaDoWn. I feel like we should just say, you know what, take my own third, just play a bit of catch-up, because if you're not winning this right here, what's the point? We're just going to grab that Phoenix at least, so that's nice. But yeah, go home, get charged, tack up a little bit, and just kind of move on to the next stage of the game, because, yeah, this is not really going anywhere if you're going to try and attack in.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I'm okay with him being there while the observer is over ShoWTimE's army. I'm very okay with that. But as soon as it gets sniped, you've got to get out of there. You've got no idea where your opponent's army is. You know that he's got blink if he blinks on the Prism, if he blinks on the Immortal. You know, it's just a bad time. Ooh, ShaDoWn, can he intercept this? Oh, he does, but not enough to actually get the kill. Finally, that proxy Stargate will get found, and that actually will supply block ShoWTimE. So that's one of those weird situations of a proxy, is you kind of forget that it's like it's a vulnerability. So kind of a funny little situation right there. Obviously not a common error that we see from ShoWTimE. But yeah, overall, I don't know, whose position do you like more in this game right now? I think ShoWTimE is a little bit ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I just think ShoWTimE got to that third a little faster. He's got his Robo pumping out a couple of more. That +1 starts. I do like ShaDoWn with the Dark Shrine, though, so I feel like if you ask this question like a minute from now, it's much easier to say. We'll have an idea of maybe how these DTs might do. As cannons come up, I can't see them doing too much, so yeah, I kind of like it for ShoWTimE. Maybe the DTs give ShaDoWn some confidence, take his 4th in position already, and just kind of get out to that. He's going to go straight to Shadow Stride, so he really loves getting that Shadow Stride up. It reminds me a little bit of Geralt. He's a big fan, again, like DTs much earlier in the game than others, so yeah, this is once again just that DT setup, and ShaDoWn, we'll see if he can do much with it. Last time, didn't actually get much done with the DTs in the grand scheme of things, right? In the later stages of the game, you know, the Stalkers found, the Observer was there. You never know. I mean, they're always deadly. There's always so much potential with that blink, and to just outposition your opponent or punish them for being slightly out of position and all of that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there is a reason that we call him Demower. It's because his defense is so airtight. And we saw, yeah, like you said, with those first set of 5 blink DTs, even with the probe finding them, even if that hadn't happened, ShoWTimE still had a really, really nice split. He had 6 Stalkers or 5 Stalkers and an Observer, plus a couple shield batteries in the natural. He was buttoned up very tightly. He was in a good spot, well prepared for those. Now, will ShaDoWn be able to find something with these here? He kind of needs to a little bit, because he is down in workers by quite a significant amount. His 4th base is a little bit later. He's going to be the one going into disruptors this time, but he is the one who is also down in the upgrade timing by a significant amount.
Yeah, disruptors kind of feel needed for ShaDoWn, who is maybe going to start playing around the map, but in the grand scheme of things, I think ShoWTimE's army is just going to be that powerful. Disruptors definitely make sense from ShaDoWn. And we'll see what he can do. I mean, if he pokes left side and he can open a route for the DTs on the right, that could be great. Only a couple Zelts caught in that first stasis ward. He blinks for an Oracle, but honestly, he doesn't get too punished. Loses a couple Stalkers. Not great, not terrible, right? It's kind of whatever. DTs don't do anything. Oh, no.
4 DTs in a stasis ward. That's 1,000 resources right there. We are going to see ShoWTimE pushing forward. Oh, he tried to push him into the stasis ward. That was almost a game-winning stasis ward for ShoWTimE right there. As it is, ShaDoWn is getting absolutely bullied back off the map. That Immortal from earlier is very, very exposed in the front. We do see the DTs kind of splitting up right here, which is pretty nice. That Immortal stays alive way longer than it had any business surviving. But unless the first Disruptor popping out gets a monstrous shot, this one is looking really good for ShoWTimE.
I mean, what can you say, right? ShaDoWn, just everything he invested into didn't really pay off for him. You know, those DTs didn't do anything at all. You know, he's got that Robo Bay up. He's barely on a second Disruptor yet, so it doesn't look good for him defensively. Yeah, he just got caught in a bad fight. ShoWTimE really just being very decisive in his engagements, just saying, right, this is good for me, let's go. And ShaDoWn's like, oh, wow, you know, trying to get my DT still to do some damage isn't working. And then, because they don't do anything, he's just kind of lost in the main engagement as well. As ShoWTimE going to jump on this right side base, shouldn't take much to take this down. It will fall, and well, the DTs across the map might start to cause some chaos. But ShaDoWn also needs some big disruptor shots here to basically save him from trouble. This one hits a few Zealots. That isn't so bad. If you can keep doing a lot back on the other side of the map, maybe there is just about a little bit of chance. I'm just scared that the disruptor shot, the disruptor count here is so low. Stalkers could just blink on that one disruptor. It's an easy target.
Yeah, and he will warp in more Stalkers. Right now, the big difference in their armies are the Immortals and Archons. There's so many power units, and just like you said, there it is. That Blink Snipe coming on in. Another Disruptor is here. Oh, man, if ShaDoWn could have somehow distracted ShoWTimE for a second or two. Oh, the dodge. Very, very nice. And a nice little setup, but ShoWTimE too quick. Not going to fall victim to it. Another Disruptor. Yeah, no, this is not enough at this point, and I think we're going to see this third base fall. And once that happens, there's just not a lot you can do.
Third base going down. Yeah, I mean, it's already bad losing the fourth base. And ShoWTimE just has this Concave now. This Nexus is working against ShaDoWn. There's going to be a dead Archon, but ShoWTimE still has a couple of Immortals. The base goes down, and if he needs to back away right now and rebuild, he absolutely can do. He's going to get another Disruptor kill, though. He might even see more, and he is going to get all of them. Blinks on top. Zealots hitting the Stalkers. Immortals whacking them down as well. And ShoWTimE ties us up 1-1 to start the PvP of the day off. A little bit of fun and excitement.
Yeah, very, very fun, very enjoyable PvP. I'm here for it. I'm having fun. Are you having fun?
I'm having fun, man. I just a little sad. I feel like the start could have been actually so good for ShaDoWn. I feel like the setup was really good, right? It was really cool. It just, those double oracles became so annoying so quickly, and I feel like he just kind of went Immortal, then the Prism, and it's like you say, it's like he didn't know how little there was up the ramp, and you're like, oh, just go. It would have been good. It's just he was playing it that little bit safer, like he probably should most of the time, but yeah, a little bit of a shame, of course. And, well, still forced it out into a long game. I'm just worried that he keeps trying to play this very kind of aggressive style, like prioritizing like DT blink and so on and so forth. And if he keeps doing that, and ShoWTimE can defend that, then it's going to put him behind in the mid game. So, you know, it worked well when he was ahead, but when you're kind of behind and trying to get back, or even maybe even and you play like that, it can be a quick way to kind of get in behind or further behind.
Yeah, so I think that setup in the very, very early stages. So we know now that his game plan was always going to be a contain play. He was always trying to set up and take a quicker Nexus off that proxy robo. I think what makes the really, really great players is they have that killer instinct. So he had the information he needed to know that he could go up that ramp. He saw that the Oracle was coming in, but it is so difficult to make that snap call to just, I'm trying to put it on camera, snap call, and just, you know, be like, oh, there's too many resources invested on the other side of the map. I can kill him right this second. And that is something like players like MC were really good at. Parting was really good at. The players that they had that instant judgment call that you can just snap and go for it. And if we'd seen that from ShaDoWn, there was only 2 Stalkers, only 1 shield battery was up, 3 Stalkers and an Immortal. Yeah, the game is over. Like I honestly think that it's literally a game-ending situation. But seeing that from our perspective versus being able to recognize that when you have a game plan that is so opposite is very, very difficult to make that judgment call. So I don't blame ShaDoWn. And obviously I was cheering for it as like rooting for the upset. And you know, I have full vision, but I think that's why he didn't go up, even though he had like decent-ish information.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, let's just dive into the next game. It's already loaded up. No breaks here in the DreamHack Masters Regionals. Not for best of 3s. So on the top right-hand side, here we go. He's brought it back to 1-1. Can he take it to a victory? It's ShoWTimE.
And his opponent, my guy down on the bottom left for Berserker Esports, it is ShaDoWn. I'm not good at caster chicken yet. I need some more practice. This is this is an interesting one because we've got ShaDoWn coming in with an early probe that looks like a cannon rush. That looks like a cannon rush to me is what that looks like. And this is a fake out. And he's already gotten ShoWTimE to pull 2 extra probes. Look at this.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
It's
the wall!
Yeah, it's the map that makes sense as well for cannon rush, and because of this little corner down here, so yeah, you gotta respect that. And ShoWTimE finally scouting across the map, gonna realize this was not a threat, but yeah, he was just obviously being worried about it a little bit, forced to make a building. forced to spend some money he didn't want to spend, and some probes not mining when he would have liked them to be mining. So, yeah, pretty cute.
ShoWTimE or ShaDoWn is a mad genius. He is. I've never seen a player use probe scout timings so effectively in a best of 3 before. This is awesome. I'm so excited. God, he came ready to play. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's just the little bits of prep that are really cool, right? Just little bits and pieces here and there, the very small nuances that just allow him to, again, get in a ShoWTimE's head a little bit, just kind of taking advantage here and there. And yeah, it's very, very cool stuff indeed from ShaDoWn. And yeah, well, now we get ourselves into this game, and you can just see ShaDoWn's a little bit faster on his warp gate, right? It's just a second here and a second there, but if there's ever a matchup where a second might change everything, it could very well be PvP.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not exactly so much the actual physical damage that it does as the mental damage. I know Behemoth loves talking about mental damage, and I got to agree with him. As someone who has played a small number of competitive matches in incredibly low stakes situations, I can tell you that nerves are a thing. Nerves are absolutely a thing. Now, ShoWTimE is obviously a very experienced player, but I still really, really like the approach from ShaDoWn, and I think it's very awesome. I think it's very, very cool. There was a chance that it could have done a lot more. I still think it was worthwhile to do, and I still think it paid for itself. We're going to see a very quick very quick Stargate coming on down. A little bit of a miscue from ShaDoWn. He did kind of mispair his stalkers, but he's not going to suffer any hull damage, fortunately, here. We'll be able to disengage and let the stalkers recharge their shields.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. As the Twilight Council sets up from ShoWTimE, it's going to be seeing the Oracle coming in from ShaDoWn. He will have to play a little bit of defense here, and shouldn't be, like you were mentioning, just too much of an issue. Should be all right. Just a few moments, but he will have the Oracle to go across the map, and then ShoWTimE will kind of need to bring these Stalkers back to help with that. Otherwise, he might end up taking a bunch of damage. So this seems okay for now. Obviously, we're not that far from ShaDoWn having a warp in as well, which would even out this Stalker number. And then, again, even less issues on this attack.
Yeah, this is a bit of a problem right now, though, because he cut his 3rd and 4th unit, so he's actually going to lose one of the Stalkers right here. Uh-oh. This is a little bit of a problem. He's going to need to wait for that battery overcharge, I think, to properly engage this. But as you said, the Oracle is going to try and come on in. However, there's already Stalkers in position. ShoWTimE buttoned up tight. He, of course, had that warp in ready to go, and he's able to handle this. I think this is another situation where ShaDoWn's prep maybe overrode some what otherwise could have been good decision making, because it's always tricky, because if ShoWTimE targets the Oracle, it gets a little awkward. But if he uses the Oracle defensively with in tandem with that shield battery, he might actually be able to get a really favorable trade on a couple of his opponent's Stalkers. It's a little tricky. I'm not exactly sure how it would work exactly with a regular shield battery with no battery overcharge, but I think he might have been able to get something done with that.
Yeah, it was very possible, as again, ShaDoWn just fast Dark Shrine, man. He just keeps on going for these DTs. And do you think at this game we've seen DT used prominently? Do you think it's too much? Do you think you just keep doing it because ShoWTimE at some point is like, nah, surely not again? And I get there's a backup to this. It's a third base, right? You're going to be, having Blink. It just feels like the investment into DTs overall can still put him behind. And ShoWTimE's so good at using those little advantages to kind of win the game with. I just don't know if I like it the third time around now.
I think if he doesn't warp in a DT at all, I think it's actually great, because it's going to force ShoWTimE to respect the DTs. We see already he got that very quick robotics facility. He's going to be going for the Observer. And as you mentioned, he used it to take a very, very quick 3rd Nexus. I actually think, once again, this is all smoke and mirrors out of ShaDoWn. He is approaching this series in a phenomenal way. So he actually just made that Dark Shrine as nothing more than a bait. And what he's kind of banking on right here is that ShoWTimE himself doesn't go for DTs. He is banking on the concept that it's just a defensive ShoWTimE. It's the wall. And you know what the walls don't do? They don't punch.
Oh. I guess they don't break and they don't punch. Mobiles can do multiple things. Who knew? Yeah, just ShoWTimE, getting a scout in, getting to see fully everything that's going on here. Obviously his own 3rd just now finishing up, so he's a few workers behind. And he is going to get a prism up, so we'll see if he gets too aggressive with that, right? I mean, there's obviously a lot of different kind of amounts of aggression you can kind of commit into here, so we'll see what exactly ShoWTimE is feeling over these next few moments, as ShaDoWn is not wasting any time now at all, going into charge and getting ready some charge lots just to improve this gateway-focused army.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like the quick charge here. He knows that something like a big push would be relatively threatening. And of course, Blink Stalker charge lot is super common in this matchup anyways. Yeah, I'm liking ShaDoWn's position, even though ShoWTimE has a little bit of a supply lead. Now, he's got to be careful here. He can't get overly aggressive. He does have Blink, so he'll be able to disengage. But because he got that probe lead very early, he's going to be able to go into his L'Explosion de Gateway. Terrible pronunciation, but shout out to Todd on that one. Not for the horrible pronunciation, for the Frenchification of it.
I also just love Roddy impersonating Todd doing the gateway d'explosion. It was very fun. It just gets, I mean, ShaDoWn moving around. 6 more gates. Again, Shadow Stride seems to be a big part of how he wants to play it. He just wants to play in multiple places, attack from multiple directions, get in and kind of pull ShoWTimE apart, but so far, ShoWTimE's been so good defensively, it's hard to imagine that changes, as we are just going to get rid of 4 or 5 probes here. A little adept play coming in, and yeah, really nice ShoWTimE once again, just taking an edge. And it just feels like ShoWTimE invests into these little things like 2 adepts and gets 7 probes. And ShaDoWn tries to do all these big things like DTs and everything, and he gets, well, absolutely not 7 probes. You know, it just doesn't seem comparable right now in this game 3.
No, certainly not. And that's a really, really nice pickoff right there for ShoWTimE. And that puts him into a very solid position, because ShaDoWn's game plan was kind of that big eco getting boosted up very, very quickly. We are going to see ShoWTimE now starting to move across the map. Both players do have +1. The charge for ShaDoWn is going to have to be the difference maker, but he has no zealots, like 0. He has literally 0 zealots with his charge right now. And that's going to make holding against an army with even just 1 immortal a rather difficult prospect.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. As you see these Stalkers and the Immortal coming through. Just going to jump on top of this 4th base. Force field's going down, keeping these Stalkers away right at the start. Yeah, I mean, this 4th is going to be very tough to keep alive. You see the DTs already working their way up the map. We'll see if they can get anything done. ShaDoWn, well, how do you fight this? He's not in, the concave, he's in the choke point. Yeah, let's see if the DTs can do anything. That's what it's really going to come down to, isn't it? Because if they don't do anything at all, this is going to be rather bad for him, as ShoWTimE just keeps expanding. But there's a couple of Stalkers here. There's a cannon. Has to blink away before really being able to do much. He blinks forward now. Zealots were tanking for him, so he's able to get the Immortal immediately. That's kind of what you wanted here. Get rid of that Immortal quickly. The Zealots tanked, so your Stalkers didn't take any Immortal. If you blink forward again, but now ShoWTimE has defensive blink, so he should be able to trade much better. The DTs, though, do get into a mineral line. They're going to find a few probes, and that is some damage finally done here by ShaDoWn.
That is really nice. Now we see the recall coming on in. ShaDoWn going to punish a little bit. He gets 1 of those Stalkers. Could have maybe gotten a couple more if he'd been a little bit quicker. Oh, a blink coming on in. ShaDoWn is looking to pounce on his opponent. ShoWTimE trying to rotate back into this position. He does get the Observer over here, will reveal these DTs, and will push his opponent back. But ShaDoWn with a really, really nice find. The thing is, that was 12 probes going down to those DTs. It could have been even worse if ShoWTimE wasn't as good of a player as he is. Overall, though, I am now really loving ShaDoWn's position.
Yeah, it's looking really good, isn't it? He's up in supply. Those DTs put in some work, and now he's going to come up and try and deny this 5th base. He's a little afraid, but maybe he also just wants to line it up with the DTs that are going to strike again, or is it DTs or Zealots? Whatever it is that's about to strike, yeah, the DTs. Just wants to try and line it up with this attack on the other side. So making the most of that, but unable to do much. ShoWTimE, just a few Stalkers actually able to get a lot of kind of fear instilled on those Dark Templars so far.
Yeah. +2 weapons will now complete for both sides, and that's going to make them very, very punchy, very strong. By the way, I want to point something out. The only detection for ShaDoWn for most of this game has been the Oracle. He just now finishes his robotics facility at 11:19. talking about playing against a player's tendencies. Oh, the DTs. Oh, if they can get these probes, that is going to be huge. We will see an engagement breaking out at the natural. Revelation coming on in. He was looking to snipe observers, I think. We do see the observer coming back in position here for ShoWTimE. ShaDoWn trying to get very, very fancy here. Not able to break through on either side just yet. And it's actually ShoWTimE who somehow picks off 6 workers. How did that happen? How did that happen?
I don't know, but I don't know why ShaDoWn didn't take this fight up here. It felt like he had him outnumbered. Maybe just hard to make that call on his own, but I know there's a couple of batteries back here as well. I just felt like that was a real opportunity. Is going to take a fight here, but this is bad for ShaDoWn because ShoWTimE can come down the ramp from the right side, and that just creates obviously a natural concave that's very, very good. So that's a little bit of a shame, and obviously ShaDoWn can't really fight there. And the numbers are even announced. ShaDoWn has a lot of money to spend, by the way. ShoWTimE is indeed moving into a robo base, so looking to switch up into those disruptors as we've seen before. Once again, just blinking back, but all of these kind of moves forward just give ShoWTimE a chance to get a little bit of damage done, get a couple of kills underway, and just obviously start making things look very, very comfortable.
Yeah, this is starting to look really, really rough for ShaDoWn very suddenly here. I think the game plan has been using the Oracle's Revelation to try and snipe observers, but every single time, ShoWTimE has had his observers phenomenally well placed, and there has not been a single time, I think, where even a single Revelation has hit an observer. I'm pretty sure there's been at least 4 attempts from ShaDoWn to target the observers with Revelation, and he hasn't been able to connect a single time. And that is because of phenomenal positioning from ShoWTimE overall. You don't often see that.
Yeah, no, it's been really, really cool as the observer. ShaDoWn goes down here. ShoWTimE is about to say hello to his first disruptor of the game, and meanwhile, the second robo facility and a robo bay come down from ShaDoWn, so he's going to try and chase into disruptors as well, and we will get disruptor on disruptor action here on Hardwire, which is kind of fun because I feel like we've not really been there yet, right? Game 1, ShaDoWn obviously just didn't build his own disruptors. Game 2 never really got to that stage properly, ended kind of before that was kind of a thing, so yeah, just looking exciting to maybe get like a really drawn out game potentially, because once both sides have disruptors, it's gonna be very hard for other players to attack in, but that's great. You catch a disruptor already, and that's a big win. These DTs have stalkers that just blinked in toward them, and this time the DTs don't pull back, so they will trade out and not do so hot.
Nah, not so hot at all. That's obviously good for ShoWTimE overall. He will kind of get pushed back a little bit in the middle. Like you said, though, it is starting to stabilize a little bit. We have the goated upgrade, by the way, coming in from both players. Observer speed, gravitic boosters, the strongest upgrade in the Protoss arsenal. Realistically, though, it is actually a very, very, very good upgrade in late game PvP. The Vision War and, of course, the Blink DT War, the Disruptor War, all of that hinges on detection and vision. So having access to those upgrades is very, very nice.
Stalkers want to move up the right-hand side. Just going to see Zealots and Stalkers moving up the left, and ShoWTimE is able to get around into position to deal with that. For now, we see the super battery activating, and these Stalkers just going to keep on going at this. I mean, having a great time so far. These few Zealots don't look as though they're going to have much fun. The Stalkers do have to blink away, and more Stalkers in the center backing it up. ShoWTimE maxed out, and he is on the hunt right now to try and get more done.
That he is. He has been so strong, so sturdy. A wall, a true wall in the truest sense of the word. There are a couple more stalkers, I think, here for ShaDoWn, so he is going to push back. ShoWTimE gets probably the first good engagement, or at least first slightly advantageous engagement in a while. Feels like most of these engagements have gone in the favor of ShoWTimE overall. Resources lost shows that it's about 3,000 in favor here for ShoWTimE. But the concave does favor ShaDoWn here. Yeah, ShoWTimE doesn't want to fight on a ramp itself. Finally, a little bit of an attempted counterattack coming on in, but there is an advantage here for ShaDoWn with the cannons, with the warpins. Something else I didn't mention yet, we haven't mentioned, is that without an actual transition into air, ShaDoWn got +1 air weapons. He is getting prepped for that next stage of the game.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. Really thinking ahead, and obviously his fleet beacon is about to finish. ShoWTimE is starting his own fleet beacon. He's getting extra Stargates on the way down, so all of this continues to come through as Zealot Stalker moves on forward up the right-hand side of the map, and in we go. Gonna start flying over here. Zel's get chased away. Stalkers are gonna come in to fight from ShoWTimE again. ShaDoWn's on the ramp. He has to be careful. He does have disruptor shots firing from quite far back. Nearly, very nearly reaching. This time, Blink's on cooldown, so he's gonna start connecting. ShoWTimE taking a bunch of disruptor shots right now to the face.
Oh my god, those were huge disruptor shots right there. On their own, none of them massive, but that had to have been about 10 stalkers right there going down during that. ShaDoWn does avoid the disruptor himself, and now he is way ahead in the stalker count. This is actually a pretty scary moment right here. It is 42 stalkers to 24. Triple disruptor production coming in for ShoWTimE, but the mobility that ShaDoWn is showing is extraordinary. He's also going to be going for a mothership here. Very, very interesting. Ooh, these disruptors. Oh, ShaDoWn. He should have trusted his judgment.
Yeah.
He tried to lead the shot to where the blink was going to go. Nice disruptor shot from ShoWTimE right there, winning that little 1v1 at beach ball war.
Yeah, that just about reaches me blink back here. That should be safe. And the disruptor shot stops short, so we'll never really know what that one was meant to be able to hit. And ShoWTimE just started his first carrier, by the way, so he's making that transition. ShaDoWn just had some mothership. That can obviously allow you to reposition with the recall. It can also just be something to sit over this army and, you know, basically force observers to get close so that you can then see where the disruptors are and make judgment calls as to where you should be firing, what fights you should be taking, and all of that information. So a couple of cool things that will be coming around from that.
Yeah, I really love the mental approach. I've said it so many times, but the way he's approaching this is so cool from ShaDoWn. Oh, disruptors are going to try and come on in. Big blink forward. Oh, that was a really high potential disruptor from ShaDoWn, but unfortunately he didn't guide it all the way home. Oh, that's a stasis ward there for ShaDoWn. Cannons and batteries are really good, man. They're really good defensively.
Yeah, they really are. Who knew? Yeah, ShoWTimE caught up, by the way, +1 attack on the Sky units, and now going to make... I'll continue to make his carriers. ShaDoWn's making his first carrier as well, and as they trade out, I imagine we're going to start seeing just more and more carriers on the way out between these two. So, getting there. Oh, big shots. ShoWTimE finally getting a big connection himself and following to push ShaDoWn back a little bit.
You talked about the observers right now. There are 3 observers in this army. Blinkback will avoid those disruptors. They're all revelated right now. All 3 observers are revelated. He knows where they are. The disruptors. Oh, okay. Oh, still hits a disruptor of ShaDoWn right here. The disruptor count does heavily favor ShoWTimE at this point. It's 9-1, but the vision is so important in this fight.
Yeah, vision is absolutely everything, right? And, well, our extra Oracle's coming up because ShoWTimE knows he wants to get those revelations down, keep track of this army much more easily without having to risk the observers as much. Revelations are being decent from ShaDoWn as well, as we see ShoWTimE slipping a couple of DTs around the right side of the map. That might be something that causes some chaos in the mineral lines of ShaDoWn. That could be fun, just because this is such a crazy game right now. There's a lot of potential with moves like that.
This is kind of funny as well from ShaDoWn. Because he's gone so heavy on the Blink Stalkers, he's actually prevented ShoWTimE from transitioning further into carriers. He actually stopped at 3 carriers, while now ShaDoWn has got his +2 air weapons almost done. He's going into more carriers behind this. Oh, big blink forward, will snipe the disruptor. ShaDoWn, oh, he's going to eat some big disruptor shots. Looks like some huge disruptor shots coming in right here. We need to see a time warp or something to get this mothership away, but it is going to go down. That is a big loss right there, and now ShoWTimE recognizes his opponent is going hard into the carriers. ShaDoWn going to try and move forward here, but he has lost a lot of footing on this map, and resources lost is still reasonably close, but it is about 5,000 in favor of ShoWTimE right now.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. I kind of expected that to be a... I expect the mothership to be able to do more and get the time warp off as we do start take this engagement, and in we go. Carriers again sniped, so ShaDoWn getting something out of this, finding some value so far. As ShoWTimE is obviously in the aggressive position, but you gotta be careful. Things can change so quickly in this scenario, so they gotta be real careful right now as disruptor shots just keep on coming through. Obviously ShoWTimE doing a good job of zoning ShaDoWn out and stopping him from getting on top of this base to defend it properly.
Yeah, that's some really nice work. I've been highlighting good moves from ShaDoWn, but the moves that ShoWTimE has made have just been so sturdy and strong. Nice disruptor shot right there, covering his carry. He does lose it, but he gets forces his opponent to pay a heavy toll. Really nice split right there from ShaDoWn. And even though there's a massive bank of minerals here for ShoWTimE, almost no gas bank. So this game is actually a little bit closer than it looks. Although the snipe on that base was very impactful, because now ShaDoWn has no mineral bank at all.
Yeah, I feel like the problem for ShaDoWn is he's got more army supply, but it's all in stalkers, and to be able to utilize those to get rid of the carriers and so on, he's got to be able to avoid the disruptors. But avoiding the disruptors is tough because he just wants to go blinking in all the time. It's going to be very difficult against 10 disruptors that are currently out on the map. Not really sure what he does. I don't mind him initiating the base trade. I think that could actually be one of the better ways for him to make this work. ShoWTimE obviously has a lot of money, but it mostly is minerals. And we actually do have DTs over there actually starting to warp in defensively, and they are starting to pick up some kills before Revelation also came down. So that was working, and obviously we continue through. We're going to find a Disruptor and a Colossus there, so some fun, kind of interesting finds. ShoWTimE's about to have some Tempest, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to keep them alive, and he never hit the Revelation on that DT, so it's chasing down Disruptors. That's obviously fantastic as well to be able to do.
Yeah, I really like the Tempest, like you said, if he can keep them alive. If he can't, oh, that Disruptor, oh my god, that Disruptor shot could have been game winning. The Disruptors of ShoWTimE were actually all moving in a clump towards it, but ShoWTimE, so quick with those mechanics, does manage to avoid that. If he had actually had all those Disruptors get hit, that could have just been suddenly like the turn that ShaDoWn was looking for. Overall, though, this is such a weird scenario because ShoWTimE has no gas bank. ShaDoWn has no mineral bank. They're both maxed out, but they're both in kind of a precarious position. Oh!
Wow. Huge, huge, huge. And now we dodge away from the next two disruptor shots. ShaDoWn knows that now might be his moment to go and make a play. After getting rid of so many disruptors of ShoWTimE. Oh, I was about to say, if only they could be friends, they could kind of, you know, work together and make that back something great. But these disruptor shots are apparently the only great thing allowed in this game as they keep on connecting. This time, ShaDoWn takes a beating, and he is down on army supply overall. Just blinking forward like that, so reckless, really, when there's so many disruptors still in play.
Yeah, he kind of thought that there might have been an opportunity there, and I don't blame him. He knows he's been kind of on the back foot for a while, and now these Tempests really, really helpful here. They are shelling away the carriers and kind of forcing ShaDoWn to move forward here. ShoWTimE, got to be careful on the chase. Disruptors are so good defensively. Oh, even there, a little big connection actually on a couple of Zealots. ShoWTimE is closing the noose, but it is not tight yet.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what happens in the last few moments of this fight, but ShoWTimE's taking a pretty substantial lead, and I think the issue is ShaDoWn isn't getting minerals fast enough where ShoWTimE is getting gas, and so he's able to spend that mineral bank, and it's just going such a long way, and obviously ShaDoWn is losing the carriers here. Those Tempests are putting in some serious work, and I think ShaDoWn knows that his army is just being chased down. With all of his capital ships gone, ShoWTimE's force is going to be terrifying. He can pick away disruptors from afar and all sorts. ShaDoWn blinks forward. He's just going to try and make a play. ShoWTimE wasn't paying attention. Disruptors to zone. Yeah, it's just rough, man. He needs to get rid of this entire force, and it's just not happening.
No, it certainly is not. Nice flank coming in here from ShoWTimE. Very good disruptor shot defensively once again from ShaDoWn. But I think you're right. This army is just too big. It's too powerful. ShoWTimE has played a phenomenal game, and GG well played is called, and it is most certainly earned as ShoWTimE takes